Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 9 Premium German cruiser Ägir. I'm divisioned with right on target 1, playing the Tier 9 Premium Pan-European Destroyer Jäger. I'm guessing maybe Jäger. Uh, this was actually a really fun game. It's it's often true that staying alive to the late game provides more opportunities, and this game is a great example of that. I did my very best to conserve my HP in the early going. So you can see that in terms of matchmaking, really I think it's a fairly even matchup. You know, we've got the Ohio, they've got a Montana, Kurfürst versus Tucson, Lepanto versus Iowa, Annapolis, Venezia, Moskva, Jinan, Ägir, Brindisi. I have to give the edge to my ship there over the Brindisi. Shimakaza versus Gearing, Sherman, Z52, Jaeger, Adriatico, U-2501, and Palau. So really, I think pretty even matchmaking. I don't really give one side a significant edge over the other. Maybe you feel differently. But I think this was really about as good as it gets when it comes to matchmaking. Yes, there is a sub. There's no CV, and that's going to allow me the opportunity to move around with some impunity, using islands to break line of sight and make some shots and then disappear, which is very nice. Now the shells here on this ship, well, are they fantastic? No, but it is a very fun ship to play. I don't play it as much as I probably would if I could do this all day long every day. But with what limited time I have, I do enjoy playing this ship at every opportunity. I'm booting up the tablet right now, and I'll be able to give you all the particulars on the weapon systems, etc. You can see the base reload there, as configured at 17.6 seconds on the main guns. Torpedoes, 90-second reload. Right on target. Jumps right out there into the Charlie Cap. Now, I'm not sure, honestly, which ship I borrowed this commander from. This might be the commander I use for a lot of different things, so it's probably not ideally configured for this particular ship, but it worked out all right. So right on target is contesting the Charlie Cap, and obviously he's got company in there, right? Because the cap isn't continuing to flip. I've got HE loaded. I'm wondering if I can get a shot on the cruise and add another fire to that ship. I could see that it was burning. No fire, only a little bit of chip damage. And like, at least in my opinion, like a lot of good games, this game starts off slow for both teams. You know, we're 3.5 minutes in. Neither team has lost a ship, although our Sherman got really banged up over at the Alpha Cap. I think he probably pushed in a little too close, got radared by Moskva, and got beat up while he was there. There's a fire. Okay, so the Ägir weapon systems, while I just position and look for opportunities here. Now, too bad I had the AG loaded. You can see I've thrown it into reverse and switched to AP, but I'm not sure whether that Annapolis is going to continue to run broadside, and I'm trying. Yep, got too close to the island. I was trying to slow down and stay behind the island instead of pushing out where you saw those torpedoes, but I got a little too close to the island and I couldn't get that broadside shot off on the Annapolis. Okay, so back to the weapon systems. Now the guns, they are 305s, so they can hit pretty hard. The base reload, without any help whatsoever, 20 seconds. 180-degree turn time on the turrets, 30 seconds. Firing range base, 18.5 kilometers, with a max dispersion of 203 meters. Maximum HE shell damage is 3,600 with a 27% fire chance, which is not too bad, and an initial HE shell velocity of 865 meters per second. The AP shells, now this is where the ship really shines if you get an opportunity to use it, and honestly the opportunities for me to use this were somewhat limited here. We're 5 minutes in, I've landed 14 shells, 2 fires, 30,000 damage. I'm certainly not setting any records, but the AP shells do a maximum of 9,100 damage and the same 865 meters per second shell velocity. The secondary armament really is, it's not a whole lot to write home about. I mean, it does have a base range of about 8 kilometers and a decent rate of fire, etc. But if you're getting that close, I mean, you can see that kind of red dotted line around my ship on the minimap there. That's my secondary range. So there are times when it'll be nice. The max HE shell damage from the secondaries is 1,500, 900 meters per second velocity on that with a 5% chance of fire. So it's not fantastic. And if you recall when they were testing the ship, it ended up being, well, it ended up being nerfed from what it was. This ship was originally going to be a really, really fun secondary ship to play. Again, nothing to write home about. Max speed, 35.5 knots with no flag. 880 meter turning circle radius, big ship with a 14-second rudder shift time unless you get some help. The surface detectability range, 14.67 kilometers. Air detectability, 10.74 kilometers. And it is just so much fun to play. Now you can see I'm camping back here. We've lost 2 ships. We lost the Z-52. We lost the U-2501. I think it is fair to argue that the Z-52, he got sunk because he did something really, well, stupid's probably the wrong word, but you know, you can see where he got sunk on the minimap there. What is it, Charlie 9? Yeah, he just got too close. There was just too much there, and he didn't really have anywhere to go other than straight at the red guys from where he was. I'm really hoping those shells are going to land on Genon. And I would love to get shells on the Genon, but I can't afford, you can see I've got the AP loading, I can't afford to let that Prussian get a good shot on my broadside, as much as I'd like to cross right there. And just as I'm ready to fire, he goes dark. Our Venezia does take out the gearing, so currently we are down 3 ships. The bad guys are down just that gearing, although their Annapolis, Z-52, and Adriatico are all heavily banged up. Or so is our Venezia. Lepanto, well, he's pushed in. He's doing what he can. I applaud that. And I am trying to position to be able to support him, but I'm not sure how much good I'm going to be able to be here. Maybe I can finish off the Sherman. It's a long-range shot, 15 kilometers. Just putting them out on a wing and a prayer, hoping that the Sherman won't change course dramatically. Sherman is a pretty wiggly ship. I do manage to finish him off. That takes my damage total to 32,238. 5 fires, 19 shells on target, and I'm able to get across without eating a torpedo. And I'm just hoping to go dark here. As you can see, some incoming fire. Turn out here just a little bit. I'm lowering that side of the ship and avoiding those shells. Lepanto was telling me to get closer, and I guess I can understand why, but no. There's Annapolis out there. Prussian can get shots on me. Genon, Iowa. There are a lot of ships out there that can do significant damage. And if I push into that gap where you're looking right there, I don't really have anywhere to run. I could run behind an island, I guess, on the port side, but then that kind of takes my guns out of the game. As Moskva finishes off our Venezia, we're now down 5 ships. The bad guys are only down 2. So what am I doing here? I'm looking for an opportunity to get some shots on ships that don't have anywhere to turn. Now, one of the things about this map, at least in my opinion, is if you're patient, you can find ships out of position trying to transit to a new location, and they won't have anywhere to turn to avoid your shots. And there's one right there. Now Genon, he's trying to get behind the island. Our Kurfürst might have shots on him. The Ponto is going to have shots on him, and I'm going to have shots on him. And you can see that there is the Adriatico. I've got AP loaded. I think I'm just going to stick with that. If I can land enough shells, I can finish off that DD, and then try to get shells on the Genon. And hopefully I can finish him before he has an opportunity to get torpedoes away. Got the hydro up, and Genon says, no, I don't want any part of Ägir. I don't think I'm going to get these loaded in time. Now it's just going to go into the island. I have to be careful here because Genon might have thrown torpedoes through that gap. I'm going to get a little advance warning here if he did, but there's not much choice for me but to turn in and try to get shells on him. It looks like he's trying to run south. I misjudged how fast he was moving. Looks like maybe he was trying to stop in that smoke. And there's the Annapolis. As I am radared, I'm going to turn nose in. I don't want to take a broadside shot from Annapolis. So there's Genon, our Lepanto, there's Medici, and our Genon all go down in quick succession. And we are now down roughly 300 points as I am still radared. You can see there Prusen on the minimap at Echo 8, moving my way. I'm sure he's engaged with the Ohio. Ohio's in one of those positions I was talking about. He can't really, if he turns right, he's only going to have his rear guns. If he turns left, he's going to show full broadside to Iowa and Prusen. Now, the one thing that he has going for him, as I get a shot finally on Annapolis, is that there's 8 kilometers visibility right now. With the double citadel on Annapolis, I'm able to finish him off. Now I can help with Prusen. So 3 kills, but only 47,881 damage. But we're clawing our way back into this game. Sticking with the AP shells, which, as you can see, hit pretty hard. I'm going to try and help secure this cap as the Prusen's fully engaged with Ohio. Turn out here just a little, well, too late. Wanted to get the secondaries engaged, but Ohio finishes him off. Ohio, of course, trying to heal up a little bit. He's really banged up, but he played a great game. Meanwhile, the bad guys are back in Charlie Cap, but we have managed to get ourselves back to even footing here with, well, now a ship advantage as Iowa goes down. 5 ships for us to 4 ships for the red team. And we've got the Z-52 as I managed to help secure the Bravo Cap with our Kurfürst, and Ohio is out here and the Z-52 is plainly in the Charlie Cap. I've got HE loaded. I'm going to keep nose in. I'm telling the Ohio where I think the destroyer is at based on the radio location skill. And I wish I could, currently on cooldown. But as soon as I can, I will pop that hydro and try to finish off the Z-52. You can see that he's only got about 25% of his HP. I'm really glad I was able to warn the Ohio. He's straightening his line trying to avoid the torpedoes because it really probably only would have taken 1 to finish him off. I'm going to go ahead and hydro up. I got to get a shot off immediately when I see him if I can. Okay, he's shifted position there just a little. And we're going to find out whether the Z-52 player has any experience or not. If he's, see if he smokes up. I have to admit, I always love it when that happens. We're down about 70 points now, and there is the Z-52. Is it a one-shot kill for me? He did smoke up. Is he going to continue to run? He's hydroing me back, although that doesn't really matter a whole lot. And I've got the pedal to the metal trying to keep him in my hydro long enough to get my second volley away. Got the secondaries going to work. And I do manage to finish him off. I'm going to bring the nose to starboard in case he threw torpedoes out. And now I have to secure this cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to run as far in this cap as I can without leaving it toward the Bravo cap so I can help there. We have a 4 ships to 2 advantage, but their Montana is still in great shape. Our Ohio is almost sunk, and our Annapolis is really kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Now, Right on Target is doing everything he can over there to help the Annapolis, but the Annapolis is squaring off with a Palau and a Montana, and right now he's kind of alone. Right on Target has moved as close as he can, but I'm sure he doesn't want to get spotted by the Palau and get blapped by the Montana. Now, Montana is showing a lot of broadside, but he gets all of his guns away and finishes off Joey 2-piece, and the Annapolis is gone. The red team now has a lead again. We still have 3 ships to their 2, and I do manage to secure the cap, and I'm heading now into Bravo. I'm going to see if I can help Ohio. He's probably thinking he just needs to not get sunk. Now, I've managed to sink 4 ships, although I only have 69,838 damage, which of course is really not all that phenomenal. But sometimes it's not about the damage. It's about how many ships you sink, whether or not you're able to cap and help your team in other ways, or spot. There are other things that you can do to help be an effective teammate in order to have a better chance of securing a win. Now you can see the storm is almost over. 17 seconds left, and we're going to have full visibility. So, DN Strauss, almost full health. Right on Target is just raining torpedoes out on him, and himself trying to avoid being torpedoed by the Palau. See if I can get a fire started. If I'm able to get a fire started, and then the torpedoes hit, but it just takes too long for the shells to get there. Now, there is a fire, but I think he's going to repair, and now I just have to try and get another one started. I think the Palau has pushed out ahead of Montana. That's the reason I'm pushing behind the island here. I don't want to get detected because I'm kind of sitting broadside. You can see I am detected. So I have to move forward to get out of visibility of the Palau, who is probably kind of between the Montana and Right on Target and the Ägir. Now I'm no longer visible. It gives me some idea of where the Palau is, so I'm pinging my team to tell them, hey, here's where the Palau's at. And in case you were wondering why I pinged there, I just drew a straight line between where I was when I went dark and where he would have to be in order to no longer see me at that point. And I just pinged that spot. We've got the cap. Ohio still has 12,000 and some odd HP. Right on Target is continuing to pour shells into the Montana, and I'm just waiting to see which direction the Montana is going to go before I move. Montana is rotating his guns the other way. So I think I need to move to the south end of this cap and around the corner. You can see I'm looking for max acceleration here, but this ship is really big and it doesn't move that fast from a standing stop. So right now we have a lead of roughly 30 points. Montana's in trouble. He's not going to be able to get a shot on the Ohio. But I feel like I really need to do something because I don't want him to finish off Ägir. Ägir only has 13,000 some odd HP left. And the Ägir is still pretty tanky with 62,850. It's not that he couldn't finish me, but I think I can finish him first. Let me get one more volley with the HE here. As the secondaries are going to work. See, I switched to the AP. There's the Palau. I need to turn in here I burned down the Montana, and now I've got to try to get the sub. But the game is in the bag. We've got 16 seconds left. I've got HE loaded again. Palau is on the surface. And in the final couple minutes, right on target, myself and the Ohio, who again played a great game, are able to secure the win. And I'm going to be able to get off this last volley to pick up a 6-kill game. Feeling pretty good about that. All right, let's take a look at the stats here and kind of how things shook out. I did manage to get over 100,000 damage, which I feel pretty good about. Since I was division, I picked up that award, and the Kraken, of course. 2,429 base XP, right on target. Solid game at 1,811. You can see Ohio there at 2,331, and our Kurfürst also played a great game with over 2,000 base XP. Did damage to a lot of ships: Montana, Annapolis, Z-52, Palau, Adriatico, Sherman, Prusen, and Jinan. It was fun. This was a fun game. And taking a look at the credits and XP. Yeah, I run a couple flags, but a very fun game. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have never played the Ägir, it's one that I can recommend if you enjoy cruiser play, especially if you enjoy German cruiser play. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you being with me for a little while, and I'll see you next time.